You ever catch yourself lying in bed all day, scrolling, staring at the ceiling, and calling yourself lazy? You feel tired all the time, you don't want to do anything, and you start to wonder, maybe I'm just useless, maybe I've become lazy. But here's the truth most people never hear: what feels like laziness is often something very different: burnout. Burnout is not a personality flaw. It's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by long-term stress and never really getting a chance to recover. And a huge percentage of adults have felt it at some point in their lives. So if this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're not broken. Let's walk through some clear signs that what you're struggling with right now might not be laziness at all, but burnout. You move through the day on autopilot. You do what you have to do, but it feels like you're watching someone else live your life. You might feel emotionally numb or empty, like you've stepped outside of yourself. Nothing really excites you, nothing truly hurts you, it's more like a dull, constant gray. This feeling of being detached from yourself and your surroundings is often linked to something called depersonalization. People who experience it say they don't feel like themselves anymore. They aren't fully engaged with what's happening around them, and deep down they feel helpless to change anything. That's not laziness. That's a nervous system that has been overwhelmed for too long. Think back to who you were before this started. Were you once driven, self-motivated, maybe even a high achiever? Did you push yourself at school, at work, or in your hobbies? Did you care about doing things well and keeping promises to yourself and others? Laziness is usually a stable trait, someone who's always avoided effort or responsibility. But if you used to be active and engaged, and only recently became exhausted, unmotivated, and indifferent, that's a strong sign this is burnout, not sudden laziness. Your system isn't refusing to work because it's lazy. It's shutting down because it's overloaded. Another powerful clue is your relationship with the things you used to love. Burnt-out people often say, "I don't recognize myself. I used to love this, now I feel nothing." Maybe it's a sport, a creative talent, a project, your studies, or your job. You used to feel alive doing it. You would lose track of time. You cared. Now you can't bring yourself to start. You procrastinate not because you don't care, but because even thinking about it feels heavy. Or worse, you secretly hate it, because you associate it with pressure, exhaustion, and constant demands. That's what happens when you push yourself too hard for too long. Your brain begins to protect you by killing your motivation for the very thing that drained you. That's not laziness. That's self-defense. Have you noticed your mood changing as well? Maybe you snap more easily now. Small things annoy you. You feel more reactive, more emotional, less patient, even with people you care about. Sometimes you surprise yourself with how irritated you sound. Burnout can make your emotional fuse very short. When you are mentally and physically exhausted, your ability to regulate your feelings drops. You may feel out of control or unlike your usual self. Lazy people are often described as laid-back or indifferent. Burnt-out people are often tense, on edge, and emotionally raw beneath the surface. If you're suddenly moody, easily triggered, or constantly overwhelmed, and that's new for you, it's a red flag for burnout. Then there's self-care. One of the most worrying signs of burnout is when even simple self-care starts to fall apart. Your sleep schedule may be completely broken. You either sleep way too much or you can't sleep properly at all. You never feel truly rested. Your eating habits change too. You skip meals, overeat, or rely on quick, unhealthy food just to keep going. You stop caring how you look. You don't have the energy to groom yourself, dress up, or even shower regularly. Things that used to be basic now feel like a big task. You might also start withdrawing from other people. You say, "I'm just tired," and avoid social interaction because even replying to messages feels like work. You disappear into your room, into your phone, into anything that doesn't demand too much from you. This isn't just being lazy. This is your mind and body saying, "I can't carry this load much longer." And again, the key difference: you didn't always live like this. Another important piece: this state didn't arrive overnight. Burnout doesn't suddenly appear in one bad week. It builds in stages. At first, there's almost a honeymoon phase. You're highly motivated, enthusiastic, maybe taking on too much. You tell yourself you can handle it. Then the stress starts to increase. You're still functioning, but it costs more energy. You feel a bit more tired, a bit more overwhelmed. You keep pushing, hoping things will calm down later. Later doesn't come. Over time, the stress becomes chronic. You sleep, but never feel rested. Your performance drops. Your optimism fades. You start to question yourself. Eventually you hit true burnout. You're drained, numb, and operating in survival mode. If nothing changes, burnout can become almost habitual, a constant state where exhaustion and emptiness blend into your everyday life and start to overlap with depression or anxiety. The most dangerous part is that because it develops slowly, you may not realize what's happening. You just call yourself lazy and keep punishing yourself for not being able to do more. You blame your character instead of the conditions that crushed you. Labeling yourself as lazy when you're actually burnt out is like blaming a broken leg for not running fast enough. It doesn't just fail to help, it actually makes everything worse. It stops you from seeking help. It keeps you stuck in shame instead of healing. If you hear yourself in this, if you used to be driven, passionate, and engaged, and now you feel numb, exhausted, disconnected, and withdrawn, you may not be lazy at all. You may be burnt out. And burnout is something you can work on. Recovery starts with honesty, admitting that you're not okay, and that what you've been carrying is too much. It can mean reducing chronic stress where you can, even in small ways. It means resting without guilt, setting healthier boundaries, and allowing yourself to say no without feeling like a failure. Talking to a mental health professional can help you understand what stage you're in and what steps you can take to recover. They can help you rebuild routines, challenge the beliefs that keep you overworking, and slowly bring back energy, interest, and joy. You are not weak. You are not useless. Your system is overwhelmed, not defective. If this resonated with you, consider reaching out for help. You don't have to go through burnout alone.